Thank you for your interest in our research. My name is Andreas Schotter from the IB Business School, and I'm presenting also on behalf of my collaborator Max Stallkamp from Virginia Tech. Let's start with setting the stage and talk about our research. We investigate those digital firms that produce purely digital products or services which can be delivered virtually over the internet. Various sectors come to mind, like social media, digital games, business service solutions, marketplaces, and increasingly more. So what is interesting about those firms? In contrast to firms with physical products and services, those digital firms incur almost zero transportation costs and delivery is instantaneous, no matter how far away the customer is. Marginal production costs are also usually extremely low. It doesn't matter whether your app is downloaded by 100 or 100,000 users. Because of these characteristics, it is often argued that digital firms can internationalize easily through virtual exports and that they tend to internationalize rapidly and early, maybe even by default. This is obviously a very intriguing phenomenon for IB scholars and in fact has been discussed since the early days of the internet. Here are some, but by far not all, seminal examples. We all know examples of digital firms that have internationalized at astonishing speeds. Airbnb entered more than 190 countries in only a few years, and more recently TikTok, the social video sharing app developed in China, reached more than 1 billion users globally. In the US, it went from nowhere to 100 million users practically overnight. Even though more conceptual or single case-based research has emerged lately, empirical evidence, in particular larger N studies, are still scarce. Existing conceptual or case-based papers predominantly argue that digital business is inherently international. However, we do not know if these firms are representative for a more general digital business model. We suspect that they might not be, and some more recent empirical evidence seems to suggest that many digital firms are much less international than popular opinion suggests. That's why our research started with the question, just how internationalized are digital firms really? To answer this question, we conducted an empirical analysis of 130 public listed companies from the digital domain. Our results suggest that internationalization among these firms is surprisingly limited, but also heterogeneous, and that a subset of digital firms is in fact highly internationalized, but only a subset. Therefore, our second research question asks, why is that? Why are some digital firms highly internationalized, whereas others are not? This slide provides a quick overview of our sample, which I will not comment on. You can revisit this slide later. So let's get to the findings. Overall, we found that internationalization levels are surprisingly modest. On average, pure digital firms generate only 24% of revenues from foreign markets, with the median standing at only 16%. More than a quarter of digital firms report no foreign sales at all. When we looked at the regional distribution using commonly used thresholds from Rachman and Verbicki, we find that even those firms that have foreign revenues are mostly home region oriented and that only 2% were global. Our interpretation is that while the extant literature stresses the non-location bound nature of technologically based FSAs in digital context, our study points out two limitations. First, regulatory and language barriers limit transferability. Second, in order to monetize digital FSAs, firms may need to develop complementary location-bound FSAs for each market, either externally through platform complementers or internally by building, for example, sales and support functions, with both take time and effort to cultivate. Finally, our research provides an important empirical baseline and evidence for multi-level configurational heterogeneity. Finally, we suggest that more research is needed on the interplay of country, industry, and business model dimension and on bundling of digital FSAs and location-bound complementary assets. Thank you very much.